Welcome to the fourth video in the chiropractic educational curriculum, symptoms. Symptoms are very important to discuss because this is the primary thing that brings most people into the office. They have some kind of sign or symptom that's going on that is affecting their life. And symptoms do affect your quality of life. They limit what you're able to do, the things you want to do, the things you need to do. And symptoms are going to be a stop in trying to get to your purpose and fulfill your goals and your dreams in life. Now, nobody enjoys having symptoms, and I'm just like you. I like to feel good, but it's very important to note that a symptom is part of the normal function inside of the body. Health is normal function inside of the body. That means all things inside of you working correctly. Being healthy doesn't necessarily equate to being symptom-free, because a person can be symptom-free and have a lot of distress and a lot of problems going on inside of their body that they're not aware of. So health is normal function of all the cells inside of you. So a question for you. If every piece of you was functioning normally, what health problems would you have? If every cell inside of your body, each one of your 100 trillion cells, is functioning normally, what health problems are you going to have? What symptoms are you going to have? Answer, none. That's obviously correct. Because if everything's functioning normally, there's no need for the body to be sending a message up to your conscious brain to let the brain and your mind know that there's a problem. Just like your car. If every piece of your car is functioning normally, what car problems are you going to have? You're not going to have any car problems. It's going to be functioning normally the way that you want it to be. But if your check engine light comes on, are you going to take it to the mechanic and just have him simply remove the bulb and hope that that fixes the problem? Obviously not. You want the mechanic to look underneath the hood, diagnose the problem, and correct it. And as a result, the check engine light will be off after that. So if your house is burning down and you hear the smoke alarm going off, you're not going to call up the fire department and say, hey, this smoke alarm is really loud and it's really annoying and I want you to come over and take care of it. You don't want them to just pull the batteries out of the smoke alarm and leave. You want them to put the fire out. You want them to correct the cause, not treat the effect. This is very important to note. It's important to note that a symptom is an effect. It is not the cause. It's very interesting to note that only 3% of your entire nervous system is even able to detect pain and symptoms and send that as a message up to the brain. So we don't want to measure our health by how we feel. Health is measured by how we are functioning. And a lot of the function we're not consciously aware of. It's also interesting to note that you are going to have a 30 to 40% loss of function somewhere in the body before you will ever get a pain or symptom from that dysfunction. So again, it's very important that we're not measuring our health by whether we feel good. We all like to feel good, but what we want is to be functioning well. If there is dysfunction in the body, there's basically two ways that you can feel better. You can either mask the problem or you can correct the problem. Mask would be taking medications, some kind of chemistry that you put inside of the body that's going to chemically alter your brain's ability to sense pain, basically. Or it's going to chemically alter some other thing in the body, and that's going to treat the symptom. It's the equivalent of pulling the batteries out of the smoke alarm and thinking that you put out the fire. The other way, we said that was to mask the problem, and we don't want to do that. The other way is to correct the problem. So we want to find out exactly what's going on and be specific and correct those problems. Okay, let's shift over to the chart. This is what I call the symptom threshold chart. Up here in the upper left-hand corner, it says health potential, represented by this green swervy line, indicating that your health is changing every moment of the day. You're never the same person that you were yesterday. You're never the same person that you were even a minute ago. Your health is constantly in flux. Your body is constantly in flux. But we want the health potential to remain very high. The innate intelligence, which we spoke about earlier, is that force, that life force inside of you, that wisdom, that guiding principle that is maintaining health. If life leaves the body, this is a cadaver. I know we talked about this before. Let's shift over here. Throughout the course of life, we are going to have interference and stress that is going to start reducing health potential and start pushing back against it. You can see that when the resistance, the interference, and the stress starts overcoming your body's inborn ability to heal, you're going to see that the health potential, these green lines, are slowly getting pushed lower and lower and lower. Okay, now let's have a look at this dark black line here. This is the symptom threshold. If you are above this line, you have no symptoms. You're not consciously aware in your brain that there's something wrong. Once you drop below the symptom threshold line, that's when you're consciously aware that there's a problem. Boom, here comes the symptom. Now you're aware of it. So you can see that once the symptom threshold is crossed, the body is now communicating dysfunction to your conscious mind. Once a person's health potential has decreased so much that it drops below the threshold, now they're having symptoms. That's not typically even when they decide to do something about it. Typically, a person is going to live with this symptom and have it get worse and worse and worse, and have their health potential, again, represented by the green line here, representing how it's dropping lower and lower and lower, and then they decide to do something about it once it starts affecting the quality of their life. Okay, so once you start correcting what's causing this, and what did we say was causing this? It's the stress interference that's overcoming your body's ability to heal and function. Once you correct that stress, which is represented by this blue star down in the lower right, you remove the interference, and now life hasn't left the body. It's still with you. Life, the innate intelligence inside the body, is going to go to work and start correcting things. And you're going to start seeing the health potential, the green line, rise above and above and above. Now, we want to get back to where we were, right? We started way up here at the top. We don't want to be just hovering right above symptoms and going in and out of symptoms for our entire life. Now, this chart is representing a timeline. Healing takes time. It takes time for the body to build up dysfunction, and it takes time for the body to heal once that dysfunction is corrected. If you cut your finger, as you know, it doesn't heal instantaneously. It's going to take some time. So give yourself time. Also, a note about the power of the spoken word. If we're constantly talking about our symptoms and rehearsing our symptoms, the body goes to work and starts believing that. And what we find is that that is going to also put a ceiling or a limitation on your ability to heal. So always try to stay focused on what is getting better. What is healing? How am I better this week compared to last week? I am healing. So the purpose of the chiropractic adjustment is not to treat symptoms. Yes, we would love it for you to feel better, but the feel better comes once the correction has been made and the body's had enough time to heal. So we don't want to, again, treat the effect. We want to correct the cause. The purpose of the chiropractic adjustment is to remove interference to the spine and nervous system and allow the body to restore its own coordination and functionality within.